Over in the pages of Marvel Comics, the X-Men are still reeling from some of the events during the Hellfire Gala, where the anti-mutant group called Orcus went ahead and announced that they had booby-trapped some of the Krakoan medicines, causing Professor Xavier to be at a standstill. Orcus demanded that Professor Xavier guide the mutants off Krakoa. My name is Erick, and today, let's go ahead and check in on the fractured mental state of Professor Xavier over in Immortal X-Men issue 14. Before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button over on this video. To me, my no one, Xavier had a dream. Now he has nothing. This is the fall of X. He fell furthest. Immortal X-Men 14 is written over for Kieron Gillen, featuring art from Lucas Werneck. We have colors from both David Curiel and Erick Arciniega, letters from VC's Clayton Cowles, design from Tom Muller and Bowen. We also have a cover coming in directly over from artist Mark Brooks. Here's a look at Brooks's really climactic cover art over on Immortal X-Men 14, already teasing some of the fractured psyche over for Xavier. Love the fact that we see him without his helmet over on the cover as well. I want to extend a quick thank you to Adventures in Poor Taste and focus in over on artist Lucas Werneck's contributions on Immortal X-Men 14. As you can see here, Werneck is really devoted alongside author Kieron Gillen in fleshing out the current state over with Xavier. Watching some of his reactions and seeing Xavier relive the Hellfire Gala through the kind of guise of a different artist being Lucas Werneck added some really fascinating dimensions over in the issue. I also liked how some of the colors from David Curiel and Erick Arciniega changed depending on the sequence, really showcasing the dour mood that I think Xavier is in after some of the tragic events of that scenario. This issue really focuses in on Xavier and spends a lot of time with him. We go back to the sequence again and again over in the issue. I really love the foreboding way that Werneck is able to draw some of the players like Dr. Stasis and Moira, who we have up on the screen. The perspective that the kind of panel is framed at, I think really builds so much tension in regards to the issue. Werneck is such a great artist at depicting big and nuanced facial expressions for the various characters, so the fact that he is kind of selected as the core artist for Immortal X-Men and also Immortal X-Men 14 renders so much emotion across this tale. Watching Sebastian Shaw navigate the current state of Krakoa was really fascinating. We actually started this issue with a flashback on what Sebastian Shaw has been up to. Witnessing Sebastian Shaw's conversations with people like Mother Righteous also built up so much tension across the series. I was really curious as to what Righteous was up to during the Hellfire Gala, and I feel like now we finally have a couple clues as to where she's headed next. As a quick aside here, I also like the fact that Immortal X-Men is the current outlet over for Mother Righteous. Really hope we see as much of her as we possibly can. And I would also like to see her go back and affect some of the other books across the line, especially the kind of core X-Men title here moving forward. One of the most surprising aspects of the issue as well was how it continued to call upon the plot threads with Exodus and Hope. This has been set up across so many issues, even extending to Sins of Sinister and even farther beyond. The fact that Gillen is still writing their relationship in all these different ways and contexts. You know, we even saw Exodus and Hope in the far future over in Sins of Sinister. So watching them pick up on their relationship in the aftermath of Fall of X is a quite interesting way to subvert some existing scenarios from Kieron Gillen. I feel like we've seen him do this over with characters like both Destiny and Mystique in some of the previous series. So love the fact that Kieron Gillen is still playing with so many of the themes and political tensions of the series to kind of remix the scenarios as well. At the end of the day here, I think this is an incredible issue of Immortal X-Men, really focusing in on some of the interpersonal characterization for the most important mutants among Fall of X, like Professor Xavier. I love the way that this series spends so much time working directly on fleshing out the characterization for Xavier and showing a point in which he's going to change some of his existing kind of thoughts and characterization to really rise up in terms of Fall of X. Elsewhere, I'm really impressed with how Kieron Gillen is balancing the wide ensemble cast in terms of Immortal X-Men. Watching him scheme over with Mother Righteous and Sebastian Shaw was a huge reason that this issue was so endearing in the first place. And I'm also mystified, as we mentioned earlier, with how Kieron Gillen keeps kind of subverting these existing scenarios with people like Hope and Exodus. I want to know from you, are you as taken with this chapter of Immortal X-Men 14 as I am? Where do you want to see this series go next? And what are your impressions with what Mother Righteous is up to? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to check out our video review on Immortal X-Men 14. And we'll be back to cover everything Fall of X and X-Men in the near future. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.